Peace, my beautiful souls. So I just wanted to come on here and do like a little story time about my journey with the Most High, with God throughout my life. So ever since like I was a little wren, I've always had a connection with God, but that was different than what I was told, what I was seeing. I've been to a lot of different churches and a lot of different types of religions and stuff like that too. I didn't grow up religious, like my mom specifically. She really let me explore that. However, I ended up going to churches, different types of churches with people like family members, other family members, and people my mom knew and stuff. And I remember always being in church but never really feeling like connected. Like the things that they said, it just didn't sit right with me. It didn't feel right. The way that like I was also taught to pray didn't really feel right. And like even like as I got older, like in the army, starting from basic training, I would go to different churches, like different types of churches, Baptist, Catholic, Christian churches, all that stuff. And it was so uncomfortable for me. There were like certain times on certain days when I would really go in my head at the church and talk to God, and I would feel things, but like listening to the preachers, the priests and stuff like that, it didn't resonate with me. And I remember since I was a little wren, when I would pray, I used to pray and I would end up praying for the like entire world, like for the love and the safety and the protection of the entire world. And like a year ago, when I started receiving more messages about me being like a chosen one, an earth angel, whatever you want to call it, I received like this one specific messages that hit hard, that hit hard from God, saying like, I've seen you and I've seen your dedication, your work, and also let me say, like, me trying to stick to churches and go by the way churches were talking about, like with the sins and stuff like that, and what you have to do and have to be like in order to be in connection with God, in order to be seen and sent to heaven and all this stuff. Took me to a time where I felt like this disconnect with God for real, like, and I was kind of angry, like what kind of God allows these things to happen? What kind of God would be so judgmental? Like stuff with my sexuality and stuff like that, like so many things. And I was like, this doesn't make sense. Like I felt disconnected, but I didn't stop praying. I didn't stop talking to God. I just was like, this shit doesn't make any sense. Like this God, I stopped believing in the God I was told to believe in, and I still kept my connection in knowing that there was a higher power, a higher source, a source greater than me in this form or whatever. So in that message, the message was specifically saying, like, even when you like lost the connection or whatever, I know you were still faithful. I know you were still believing in me and stuff like that. And I remember just crying tears of joy and happiness, because I'm like I knew I wasn't tripping, like type of thing. Like I knew how I felt was so real, even though I was being told like it was wrong and stuff like that. And around that time, that same message though too, it was saying like, you're an earth angel, you're a chosen one, like you came here for a specific reason, like and then it was telling me that I was going to receive a message from God, that God was going to want me to put out to the world, and that I was going to be like, why God, I can't do this, like why do I have to do this, blah blah blah. And it was going to be like my ultimate test, like my last test. And I really did, about a week or two later, receive that message, and literally exactly like how it was said. I sat there and I started crying, and I was like, I can't do this, I can't put this message out. And this was before I started sharing messages with y'all on TikTok, on social media in general. I hadn't spoken. I was only doing like a couple yoga videos, like of me practicing my headstand. But that message that I received was the first message for me to put out, which was about the ACs and stuff like that. But I remember sitting there and I was like, I can't do this. Like, what am I supposed to do? How am I going to do it? And then I was like, okay, I really need to surrender for fully in this moment. So I sat there and I surrendered to the Most High. I was like, I surrender to you. I will walk in this path. I will put out whatever messages you want me to put out. Just tell me what to do. Tell me how to do it. Like, I don't know what to do. And in that moment, right after I surrendered, like intentionally surrendered to go in that path and really fully walk this path, that the path of the messenger, whatever you want to call it, the path of the earth angel, and intentionally, I got up, I went and turned on my light in the room, and I grabbed my notebook, I grabbed a pen, and I just started writing. And I was being guided to research certain things and dive deeper into the message, into the information, but with proof, like to show people it wasn't just what I was receiving, you know, because a lot of people need proof. So they the Most High guided me, my guides guided me, I guided me, my highest self, and ever since that day, like, that started my journey with sharing my messages that I had been receiving from the Most High, from my guides, with you guys. And it deepened my connection. It solidified my connection, me knowing my own divinity, me knowing God truly is within me, is me, God, Goddess, Mother Nature, Source, Creation, whichever title you resonate with the most, it's all one and the same. But yeah, I remember that day so deeply. And then, like, just thinking to my whole life, like I said, like, my connection with God has always been so strong, just so different, and not in the way that seems to be normal for some people, for most people. But yeah, I just wanted to come share that with you guys. It just makes me happy when I think about it, and like, it makes me remember like how I truly was, like, as a little Ren, and just me with God. I've always been talking to God, to me, like, always, literally. And yeah, just remember, you are God, Goddess. You are the creator. You are everything. God is you. God is within you. And yeah, your body is the temple of God. You don't have to go to a church. You don't have to go outside yourself to connect or be with, find God, hear God, any of that. Yeah, I love you guys. I'll see you later.